Hey, are we on? Here we are. It might be a little bit of glare. Hi, everybody. Leslie here. Valentine's week, Super Bowl Sunday, uh, February 9th. Geez, we gotta get Zazoo in here. Zazoo. So, I've been fiddling around. I'm reorganized again. I don't know if you can see. It just snowed, so you probably can't see. There's too much glare coming from the window. So we'll see. Hopefully I can fit everything in. I wanted to show my little friend over here, my little gnome, my little oh my little Valentine gnome wants to say hello. Come back over here. Yeah, he's my buddy. I got my Saturn here, my little Buddha. This is like my little altar table. I got my crystal books, my gem books, my little star notebook. You know, Zazoo's got her little throne here. I took the couch. The couch was over there, and then it was driving me nuts. I couldn't stand it because all the cushions were weird, and it was near the window, and there was a draft. So I thought, well, I'll put it this way. I don't know if I'm going to watch the game later. I'm not into who's playing, the Eagles and the Chiefs. It just seems like I've got other things to do. I might tune in for a little bit. So the halftime show, I don't even know. Kendrick, somebody. eh, I'm so not into it. Even the commercials, I can't get myself to feel that excited about it. You know, just the commercials. I can't watch commercials anymore. I can't. I. It's too much hoopla. Whatever. I got other things going on. But look, I got my hurt socks. You gotta show them off. And my new top. This is another thrift store special. I want to show it off. Anyway, so I hope I hope you can see me. There's enough light here. I might turn on the light. Hold on. Yeah. Because we have the situation where it's too much glare. That's better. With the snow. They've been clearing. We get the emails, from the lady at the front up. Go and get your milk and bread, man. Move your car, man. I just waited a little bit. All the plows came. The guy came like twice and did the walk with the salt and everything. And everything's melting off my car. Once again, the adage of do less. I have to do less, and then things happen. If I were to have gone out there, 5 in the, whatever, 8 in the morning, I get up really early. I mean, I was up at like 1 in the morning. I mean, really early. I was running. I made banana bread. But anyway, I have a very different kind of lifestyle. It works for me. And anyway, I wanted to show. Oh, before I get going, I got myself a new pizza pan. It was National Pizza Day this week, and I got some of those little pizza, crust individual ones. I thought I'd make if I can make the pizza. I don't know whether I'm gonna watch Super Bowl, but you have to have snacks. So I got this. Isn't this cool? It's like it's got holes in the bottom. See? It's very cool. It's like my quiche pan, only for pizza, and it makes a nice crispy crust. See? Here we are in the pizza capital of the world, and I'm making my own pizza. It's out there. I was gonna make the stew this week, so I got a big bag of kale. whether or not I'm going to put the kale on the pizza. I thought maybe it was a good idea. No, I'm thinking it's not. It really isn't. I usually have this big damn bag of kale. I have to throw half of it out because I put it in the stew I make this harvest stew with like kielbasa and butternut squash and potatoes and you just carrots and you throw everything in there. It's really good. Um, but I was thinking, what am I going to do with the kale? And I thought, oh, I could put the kale on pizza. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't had a good track record with kale, except for like in stews. I write about it in the book. Um, there's a whole chapter on kale experiments that went really wrong. Um, yeah, kale and I don't. I mean, in theory, it sounds good. Um, that they would, you could toss them with some coconut oil and get them, toast them up in the oven, but they don't. They always turn out like wet grass after the rain or something your dog threw up, or just doesn't. It doesn't work for me. But maybe some people can master the art of cooking with kale. I still have bad memories from when I was a kid and my mom would make liver and onions um, and spinach, cooked spinach, with butter. And I still have nightmares about that. She'd make them all my least favorite. I would eat everything except liver and onions and cooked spinach throughout my whole childhood. And anybody who grew up in the 70s, right? Late 60s, 70s, there was this thing that all the mothers were cooking liver and giving us liverwurst sandwiches. I talked about it on Facebook on another Gen X creators page. I I hated that. And she'd make it all at once. You'd think she'd split it up and have liver and onions and like peas or something I actually liked. No, she'd have it all at once. And then I wouldn't eat it, and then I'd be hungry, because she wouldn't make me anything else. When our boys were growing up, if God forbid, I made something that the kids were like, my then husband would, always the saintly dad would go and make him chicken nuggets, and I'd say, like hell, I'm gonna make another meal. So he'd get out the bag of chicken nuggets or something and make him that, or something, or a hot dog. I said, no, I made one meal, and usually what I would do, I mean, it's not like I made stuff on purpose. If I made pasta that called for onions and peppers in it that they didn't like, I you know I'd put the onions, I'd cook the peppers separately. I really did this, and I would put the cooked peppers in with mine and the onions or whatever. Usually I'd cook the onions in real small so they wouldn't know they were there. But I'd go out of my way to make separate peppers. My mother would not do that. She'd be like hell, I'm going to make you another meal. You eat that. I'd be like, oh. But enough of my complaints and rants for the day. Okay, get to it, Zazoo. Stop complaining. Okay, it's humor, folks. It's family. It's child-parent humor. All right. So yeah, it's Super Bowl, whatever. Snow. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's nice. We'll go out in it later. I'll go out later, and then I'll come in and have my hot chocolate, paleo hot chocolate. So I'm gonna have like a little the song and everything today. It's kind of in honor of the holiday of love. Gotta get some wear out of this shirt. Anyway, I was gonna go to the New Age astrology fair today that I usually go. They have it like 3 times a year or something. They postponed it till March 2nd. Maybe because of the Super Bowl or because of the snow or whatever. And I was thinking, how am I gonna It's almost noon. How the hell am I gonna do this and do the snow and get there and get back? Just better that they postponed it. Yeah, it's that lady who runs it. They're all older boomers who run it or run this thing. And you know, the lady who runs it, every time I go there, she's like, "Oh, Zazzy's here, or Zuzu's here, or Snazzy." She calls me something different. I said, "It's Zazoo," because she was interested in my book. Every time I go, she's like, "Oh, how'd your book doing?" Yeah. And I tried telling her, "It's Zazoo." She says, "Yeah, I know, but I'd rather call you Snazzy because you're snazzy." I asked her to write a review for my book 5 years ago when she never did. She said, "Nah, I don't know, maybe." I Now she's running the whole thing, and every year she runs it. And the people who go and do the presentations, they get up there, and they always have technical problems. And I could go and help them, but it's way more entertaining to watch them all. They can't understand. They don't even know. See, there's no Gen Xers who go to this thing, and they don't even act. Doesn't even cross their mind that they would want us there. You know, there's millennials and there's boomers. I never come across anybody even close to my age. I think we all just stay home and do it online. Either that or Gen Xers aren't into astrology, or if they are, they don't gather, like the other generation. I don't know what it is. I'm into it. I'm into it, in a general kind of way. I could get way more into it, but because my mother was, you know. So I kind of come back to it, go away from it, come back, you know. Kind of like the way when I was in my 20s and I left home, college. I went to a Catholic college, so but it was after college. I kind of took a break from, I'd go to church, but I was traveling, I was working, so I couldn't always get to mass. So I decided to start kind of letting up on myself a little, you know, and it was good, And I thought, well, I'd feel guilty, but I didn't, because I was away from all the people who usually made me feel guilty for not going to mass. So anyway, this is important. So here we are, fifth Sunday. Squeaky's up there. He's squeaking. Mm. Can you hear him squeaking up there? Isaiah, prophet. So he's talking about in the days of in the year that King Uzziah died. So there's this king. He was a good king in the Old Testament, but he became, he got too much in his ego, got too proud, and he got leprosy and was sent away to live by himself because he dared to burn incense in the temple, which was you know something only the priests were allowed to do. So this is strange. So Isaiah the prophet's talking about, that was going. Maybe this was before King Uzziah. All this happened with it, but Isaiah has this dream or this vision where he says he sees the Lord on his throne with seraphim, the angels all over, and he says, "Oh, I've seen the Lord. Oh, woe is me. I'm not worthy." So he said the angel went, touched his lips with an ember, from fire, and and now he's purified. And he says, "Here I am. Send me, send me. Oh, 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 Mr. Carter, Mr. God." So yeah, it's funny. I had a candle last night. I always get like the day of these readings. I always get like downloads that have something to do with the scriptures. Like last night, I blew out a candle, and and I see this little spark go flying, you know, on the candle. And I said, oh, that's interesting. And then I read this today. It's, anyway, um, yeah. So, oh, yeah, I had one other little uh, story. Two little stories. Um, but I'm going to get through this first. So, and then the psalm has to do with this. You know, all these readings have to do with, you know, prophets or apostles feeling not worthy. In other words, unclean, or being humbled somehow by the sight of God, by the feeling that they're not enough. That they wish they could do more. For God, the offering of themselves, to the cause or whatever. So there's that. On the side of the angels, I will sing your praises, Lord. That was a psalm. Forsake not the work of your hands. Your right hand saves me. That's good. I did a post on Facebook about a joke about hands this week. It all links together. Um, so then we have first letter to the Corinthians, where Paul, the Apostle Paul, is he's talking to these people, saying, remember all the stuff that I wrote about to you, that you said you believed, right? This is reminding them, stay the course. Don't get, lazy. Don't drift away, remember all these people who saw these things happen, the testimony, right? Um, so, last, yeah. Yeah, so he talks about, he said he was the least of the apostles, right? Because he persecuted Jesus. He persecuted the early church, right? So this was his karma. He had to work even harder to overcome, because you know, because he was once on the other side, against against the early church, against Jesus, what Jesus was trying to do, right? But he said, because of grace, you know, it wasn't him, it was God working through him. In other words, if God can convert this guy who's the most ardent, um, enemy of what they were trying to do, and then he's on their side. He says he himself is a testimony of what God can do for us, right? For other people. He's saying, look at me. You know, I was worthless. I wasn't doing anything with my life. And then I saw Jesus, and then seeing God, he felt this unworthiness, right? So that's the theme today. Um, yeah, so then we have Luke 5. So, Jesus is teaching and the crowd is pressing on him, like Super Bowl crowd. he's in the stadium, he's trying to talk, he's trying to get his message. All these people are crowding him, and he can't think. He can't, he's got to get some distance, right? So he sees these guys, these fishermen cleaning their nets, and he says, hey, could you, pull out from shore? So he gets in the boat with Simon Peter. They go out, in the ocean. It's a Pisces thing. Um, so finishes preaching. And then, so, they're saying, yeah, we're fishermen, but we haven't caught anything. So he tells them to put out into deeper water and throw your nets. And they catch so many fish that they have to get backup boats to carry all the fish, right? So there's a metaphor here. So it's once again, they're in awe of how many fish they caught, So he did it to get them to believe in him, right? So he says, follow me and become fishers of men. So men and women, it's assumed, but yeah, they were men. So yeah, so they did, and they left everything. So there's a theme here. It's the theme of, um, just kind of leaving your old life, leaving what doesn't work, cutting ties, with whether it's, they were fishermen, right? We all have these, ego-based titles, mom, you know, whatever, whatever your job title is, right? Or whatever your family says you are. You're the middle child. You're the only child. You're the smart one. You're the pretty one. You're the that. That. You know, people will tell you who they think you are, but you don't have to listen to that. See, you're, you know, like I break the mold on social media. People don't know what I am. They want to put me in a little box. I won't be put in a box. You know, I'm not a Gen X creator. I am a creator and I'm a Gen Xer. But, you know, I talk about spiritual topics. I talk about astrology. I talk about nature. I talk about being a mom. I talk about my work experiences, my cooking adventures, right? I'm a multifaceted person. I don't just talk about, you know, Gen X memories. I talk about music. I like pop culture. So that is the thread that kind of goes and ties everything together, you know, because I like music. I like, pop culture that I grew up with. So there's that. Um, yeah, but okay. So um, yeah, it's interesting. Oh, yeah. So my kid got a cat this week, the youngest one. I get this text right before I go into the song of the week. He got a cat. We get this text. Oh, hey, I I bought a cat today. It's so funny. Uh, Black cat, and here's the pictures of the cat. And she's got a little tag. It's a pink heart. It's a Suki on it, which means like beloved one in Japanese. So it's kind of cute. So we find out about these things. He goes and does things. He buys a truck. And then he tells us about it. Got a cat. Whatever. But it's just kind of cute. I wonder if the girlfriend had anything to do with him getting the cat. Because he was dating this other girl, um, a couple of years ago, who found had a stray black cat. Maybe it was 2021. And he was begging us, he says, Mom, can I adopt the cat? This was like a stray or whatever. It was living with his girlfriend's family. I said, no, it's not a good time, because he was in college and going back and forth. And he had just started college. He was just dating this girl, and then they broke up. And it was just as well that he didn't, adopt the cat. Now was a good time because he's finishing up college and he's got a place where he's living and he's got his own truck and he's over 21, so he's 21. So anyway, there's that. There's the I don't know if is it considered? No, it's not. I have another child pet. Anyway, I'm not babysitting the cat because I can't have it here. I have to pay like $400 if I want to have a pet. I wonder if that's just for a dog. I don't know. I see cats all over the place here. I'm not getting a cat. I had two tuxedo cats before the kids were born. One ran away, so it was brother and sister, and then he only knew the male one. But we had the female, and then she ran away. Our older son remembers the girl cat because he was like 3 when she left. So, okay. So the song. Get to the song, Zazoo. All right. Uh, gotta do a power ballad. Richard Marx. Hold on to the night. Hold on to the man. I wish that I could get it. Anyway, all right, there's a delay. Anyway, yeah, so the reason I came upon this song was the passage where St. Paul says, "Hold fast to the word I preach to you." And I thought, oh, yeah, that's hold fast, hold on. And I thought, oh, the night, the memories. So that kind of makes sense. I said, oh, and there were the lyrics. Okay, this was released, let's see, May 3rd, '88. And it went on to be, let's see, number one, July '88, by July, yeah. It was the fourth and final single from his debut album, Richard Marx. Um, I was really into Richard Marx back then. He was the only male artist to have first 7 singles reach the top 5 on the Billboard. Yeah. The Mullets. The Mullets. There's mullets all the time. This is in the front, back. Anyway, oh, Richard Marx. I mean, come on. If you're, yeah, those were good times for romantic songs. This is talks about. Um, I saw you smile, and my mind could not erase the beauty of your face. And yeah, how about the longing to be free that is in there. And if you think about it in terms of you know talking to God or whatever, these prophets, they're prophet was saying he saw God. His mind cannot erase the beauty of seeing God, right? And he felt like he was unworthy. What do I have? What do I have to offer you? I want to give you more, right? So this is like following our path, right? Uh, Wanting to give more, wanting to be sent, wanting to represent, wanting to, become better, to become, free. Our initial reaction is, I want to get out of here, right? He sees some, seeing God, he wants to run away, uh, to be, because, it calls to your attention when you see someone who is full of light. It just calls attention to that part of you that is not full of light. Whether it's, you meet a person who really inspires you and makes you want to be better, or, you somehow have a spiritual experience, right? Where somehow God contacts you, Christ, the Spirit, and, you want to be more, right? So that's where the angels come down, and, that's the thing about Valentine's Day, is Aquarius is more of a universal love kind of feeling. It's more of an intellectual love than a emotional love, right? So, it's more about the concept of love than, smoosh. That's why, like when you read about it, Valentine's Day, there's Cupid and the whole, you know, couples kind of love. I never really felt it around this time. It's more like the kind of day when you were a kid and you bring in Valentines for the whole class, right? Or just a few special friends. It's more like that. It's more like a friend holiday, right? Than a, and yet, you know, marketing has made it into, um, it's made it into something more. Oh, surprise! But anyway, so yeah, I'm running out of time here. So yeah, I might rearrange the living room again. I don't know if I like it. Oh, happy Valentine's Day! Enjoy the big game, and I'll be here next week. Um, Same place, different time. Lots of love.